Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com at the end of June and beginning of July 2026. I'm your host, Linnea Crowther. I'm the news editor at Legacy.com, where you can read full obituaries for most of the people featured in this video and leave your own condolences on their Legacy page. Singer and songwriter Victor Willis died June 30th, 2026 after a short but aggressive illness at the age of 74. He co-founded The Village People and sang lead vocals on campy disco hits like YMCA, In the Navy, and Macho Man. Willis is being remembered as the group's policeman, who co-wrote their hit singles and also appeared on Broadway playing the Tin Man in The Wiz. Actor Michael Byrne died June 20th, 2026 at the age of 82. He was well known for playing Colonel Vogel, a Nazi officer in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Byrne is also being remembered for British TV roles in Coronation Street and Smiley's People, as well as for such movies as Tomorrow Never Dies and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Composer and conductor Harold Wheeler died June 24, 2026 at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 82. He was the music director for Dancing with the Stars in its first 17 seasons, conducting the orchestra that provided live music for the show's dancers. Wheeler is also being remembered for his Tony-nominated work orchestrating Broadway shows like Ain't Too Proud, Hairspray, and The Wiz. Olympian, businessman, and politician Les Mills died June 29, 2026 at the age of 91. He founded Les Mills International, a chain of gyms that revolutionized fitness by popularizing aerobics around the world. Mills is also being remembered as a four-time Olympian competing in shot put and discus throw for his home of New Zealand, and as the former mayor of Auckland, New Zealand's largest city. Actress Penelope Keith died in June 2026 at her home in Surrey, England. She died of cancer at the age of 86. She was a legend of British TV thanks to her starring roles in the sitcoms The Good Life and To the Manor Born. Keith is also being remembered for her hilarious guest appearance on the 1977 The Morecambe and Wise Christmas Show. Actor and singer Akihiro Miwa died June 20th, 2026 of natural causes at the age of 91. He became an anime legend thanks to his voice acting in two classic Studio Ghibli films. He voiced the wolf goddess Moro in Princess Mononoke and the Witch of the Waste in Howl's Moving Castle. Miwa is also being remembered as a well-known drag performer and cabaret singer in Japan who became a peace activist after surviving the 1945 bombing of Nagasaki, Japan. Journalist Tony Brown died June 17, 2026 at his home in Newport News, Virginia. He died of coronary heart disease at the age of 93. He was the longtime host of Tony Brown's Journal on PBS, a pioneering talk show that explored the Black experience. He is being remembered for his decades of work on behalf of the Black community. Brown was a U.S. Army veteran who served in the 1950s. Journalist Malik died June 24, 2026 in Palo Alto, California. He died at the age of 59 after what his family called a long health journey with his heart. He founded Gigaom, a technology blog that covered Silicon Valley news for millions of regular readers. Malik is being remembered for his insightful commentary on issues that shape our lives. Actor Tom Ligon died in June 2026 in New York City at the age of 85. He had a recurring role on The Young and the Restless in the 1970s and 80s, playing Lucas Prentice. Ligon is also being remembered for his roles in such movies as Paint Your Wagon, Bang the Drum Slowly, and Jump. Actress Anne Blyth died June 24, 2026, of natural causes at the age of 98. She was nominated for an Academy Award for her performance in Mildred Pierce as the scheming daughter of Joan Crawford's character. Blyth is being remembered as one of the last stars of the Golden Age of Hollywood, whose other films included Our Very Own, The Great Caruso, and Mr. Peabody and the Mermaid. As of this recording, at least 2,295 people died in an earthquake that struck Venezuela on June 24, 2026. Many thousands more are missing. Search efforts are still underway. Three wildland firefighters were killed on June 27, 2026, while fighting the Snyder Fire along the Colorado-Utah border. Their names are Emily Barker, Nick Hutcherson, Sydney Watson. One of the best-selling country musicians of all time would have turned 65 this week. But before we mark that anniversary, I want to share just a couple of remarkable life stories I read at Legacy.com this week. Not celebrities, but people from all walks of life, whose families wrote beautiful tributes to their memory. Like Jo Ayers from Hawaii, who devoted her retirement years to becoming a certified animal communicator, helping countless people try to understand their pets better. 99-year-old Marine Corps veteran Joe Reeder had a long and storied life, refurbishing historic early American properties around Washington, D.C., as well as helping to plan several presidential inaugural balls. And Evelyn Payne, a devoted nursing aide from Michigan, lived to be 101 years old, volunteering with charities like Food Gatherers and Dress for Success, and loved by her 48 great-grandchildren and 11 great-great-grandchildren. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 15 years ago this week, First Lady Betty Ford died at the age of 93. The wife of President Gerald Ford, she helped raise awareness of both breast cancer and addiction thanks to her candid talk about her own experiences. 20 years ago this week, actress June Allison died at the age of 88. A star of the Golden Age of Hollywood, she helped destigmatize incontinence as the well-known spokesperson for Depend undergarments. 20 years ago this week, musician Syd Barrett died at the age of 60. He was the original frontman for the legendary rock band Pink Floyd, and the band later paid tribute to him in their song Shine On You Crazy Diamond. 23 years ago this week, singer and songwriter Barry White died at the age of 58. He was one of the greats of 70s soul and disco, known for hits like Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe, and You're the First, the Last, My Everything. Singer and songwriter Toby Keith was born 65 years ago this week. He died in February 2024 at the age of 62. He was a country music chart topper known for hits like How Do You Like Me Now and Beer for My Horses. Singer Bon Scott was born 80 years ago this week. He died in February 1980 at the age of 33. He was the lead singer for AC/DC on their first 7 albums, singing classic tracks like TNT and Highway to Hell. Actress Janet Leigh was born 99 years ago this week. She died in October 2004 at the age of 77. She was a legendary scream queen for her performance in Psycho, and she was the mother of actress Jamie Lee Curtis. Actor Fred Gwynne was born 100 years ago this week. He died in July 1993 at the age of 66. He starred on TV in The Munsters and Car 54 Where Are You?, and he had roles in movies like Pet Sematary and My Cousin Vinny. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Arizona have been lowered to honor the memory of the Granite Mountain Interagency Hotshot crew, 19 of whom died in the line of duty in the Yarnell Hill Fire in 2013. Flags in Alabama have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Senator William Leslie Roberts. Flags in New Jersey have been lowered to honor the memory of Representative Frank Joseph Guarini, Jr. Flags in Pennsylvania have been lowered to honor the memory of State Trooper Michael Pajera. Flags in Colorado have been lowered to honor the memory of Sergeant Devin A. Seibel, who died in Iraq in support of Operation Inherent Resolve. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. Follow Legacy.com on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.